There are some really, really big breakthroughs in how we actually design learning experiences, especially leadership experiences. I'm talking about like the 1 year or 2 year or 3 month, like how you actually design those and the principles of that. There's some really interesting insights and breakthroughs and innovations available in that space. We found, for example, that you can transform an in-person program to something that's completely virtual and actually improve the embedding, not decrease the embedding if you follow a few principles.
Most of the people that get to the high potential kind of designation view themselves and other people view them as go-to people, am I right? Give them the ball. They're the go-to person, right? And so you get a self-identity going with that can limit you and keeps you from letting go of things that you need to let go of. And the challenge that people have to deal with is making that shift from being the go-to person to someone who creates teams of go-to people.
People think about judgment as inherent in character. It is and it isn't. When you talk to leaders who people think have great judgment, you'll find a process behind there.
The big finding is that social situations activate the brain's primary threat and primary reward center, pain and pleasure center, okay, in ways we hadn't predicted. I found a pattern as I was working on my, one of my books. I found a pattern. The pattern is very simple. There are 5 social situations that create the strongest threats and rewards, generally much stronger than external, extrinsic rewards or threats, really quite strong threats and rewards. Each one of them can activate a threat or reward on their own, or they can make each other worse.
What I want to do is give you an opportunity to work with some coaching tools that can help leaders with some of these lowest rated behaviors.
The objective of all of our learning programs this last year have focused on building business acumen and strategic perspective across all of our levels.
We think we're rational. Actually, most problems we don't solve with rational resources. And generally, our approaches to increase kind of creativity tend to decrease it. For example, brainstorming is a very, very productive and effective and repeatable way of decreasing the number of creative ideas that you'll come up with in a group.
The big behavior shift to me is what I'm starting to call now reciprocity-based innovation, where leaders are required to give things away in the trust you'll get back even more in return. This is very different than the traditional zero-sum game kind of business. And the cloud's going to amplify that. The cloud's going to require that. The cloud is so much more than outsourced IT. It's being overhyped right now, but it's going to change the way we work and the way we lead.
I think about leadership skills or leadership presence as being divided into 3 big buckets of skills and behaviors. And the first big bucket is personal presence. It's about how you view yourself and how other people view you. It's about how you connect with people. And then the next big bucket is team presence. How do you lead and leverage the team that you're leading or the teams that you're leading to get stuff done? You know, how do you get stuff done through other people? And then finally, there's organizational presence. How do you work with people all throughout the organization, outside of your swim lanes, to get even bigger stuff done?
The VPs really appreciated having this kind of a totally blended approach that really took into consideration the demands on their time and didn't ask them to, again, gather in a room for 2 days or so. That is just not really even feasible given our current business environment.
Let's talk about interpersonal skills from a biological perspective rather than, just using good storytelling. Good storytelling is awesome, don't throw it out, but let's do good storytelling and then also explain the why.
The digital natives will create new practices of engagement, largely through gaming. I think that's the medium that they'll bring to us. And their brains will literally work differently. And we only have a few years to prepare for this generation of kids hitting the workforce. And I don't know a single company that's ready across the whole company. I don't know a single university that's ready across the whole university. I don't know a single school that's ready